Welcome back to Bioboard classes. Today we are diving into one of the most important concepts in all of evolutionary biology and population genetics, the Hardy-Weinberg Equilibrium. Now I know the moment people hear this name, they imagine complicated equations, confusing genetics, and boring textbook theory. But trust me, by the end of this video, you will realize this topic is actually one of the most fascinating ideas in biology because Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is not just an equation, it is a way to understand how evolution works, how populations change over time, why genetic diseases continue to exist, and how scientists can mathematically detect evolution happening in real population. And the craziest part, the idea was discovered more than 100 years ago. Yet today it is still used in modern genetics, medicine, and evolutionary research. So in this video, we are going to deeply understand what Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium actually means, how the equation works, why populations stay stable, what breaks that stability, and most importantly, we will explore real-life examples. So we are not going to memorize formulas blindly, we are going to understand the logic behind them. So grab your notebook and let's begin this deep dive into mathematics of evolution. And before we start, if you enjoy biology explained visually and deeply like this, subscribe to Biobot classes and turn on notification bell because we are building one of the most best biology education communities here. Now let's start with a simple question. How do scientists actually know whether evolution is happening? Think about it. Populations are constantly changing. Animals reproduce, humans migrate, mutation happen, diseases spread, natural selection acts every generation. But how can we mathematically detect whether evolution is occurring? Well, before 1908, scientists did not really have a baseline for comparison. Then two scientists, Godfrey Hardy and William Weinberg, independently proposed a revolutionary idea. They said that if certain conditions are perfectly satisfied, then the genetic structure of a population should remain completely stable generation after generation. No evolution, no change, perfect equilibrium. And that stable condition became known as Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Now, to understand this properly, let's imagine a very simple population. Suppose there is a gene with only two alleles, capital A and small a. Every organism carries two copies of the gene, so the possible genotypes are capital A, capital A small a, and small a. Now we define two very important quantities. P is the frequency of capital A and Q is the frequency of small a. Since these are the only two alleles in the population, their total frequency must equal 1. So P plus Q equals 1. This is the first Hardy-Weinberg equation. Simple. Now here comes the powerful part. If mating occurs randomly, then the probability of forming each genotype can actually be predicted mathematically. The frequency of capital A becomes P squared. The frequency of capital A small a becomes 2PQ. The frequency of small a becomes Q squared, which gives us the famous equation P squared plus 2PQ plus Q squared equals 1. This equation predicts genotype frequency in a stable population, and this is the core idea of Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. If certain conditions are met, these frequencies remain constant generation after generation. Now let's understand this with actual numbers. Suppose P equals 0.7 and Q equals 0.3. Then P squared becomes 0.49, 2PQ will be 0.42 and Q squared will be 0.09. This means in this population, 49% are capital A, 42% are capital A small a, and 9% are small a, and together they add up to 100%. Now here comes something very important. Recessive alleles can hide inside heterozygous individuals. That means harmful recessive traits do not disappear immediately from population. They can remain hidden for generations. And this explains why many genetic disorders continue to exist even today. But now we reach the most important part of the topic. Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium only works under very strict conditions, and in real life population almost never satisfy all of them perfectly. So let's discuss the 5 conditions required for equilibrium. Condition number 1 is No mutation. Mutation introduce new alleles into population. DNA copying errors, radiation, chemicals, all these can create genetic variation, and mutations are actually the raw material of evolution. Without mutation, new traits would eventually stop appearing. Condition number 2 is random mating. Hardy-Weinberg assumes individuals choose mates randomly, but in reality, organisms often prefer specific partners. For example, peacocks choose colorful mates. Animals select stronger partners. Humans also show non-random mating patterns. This changes genotype frequencies over time. Condition number 3, no natural selection. If one genotype survives better than another, allele frequency starts changing. And once allele frequencies change, evolution is happening. Natural selection is one of the biggest reasons real population deviate from equilibrium. Condition number 4, very large population size. Why? Because small population experience randomness much more strongly. This is called genetic drift. Imagine flipping a coin 10 times. You might get 8 heads by chance, but flip it millions of times and the ratio stabilizes near 50-50. Similarly, in small population, allele frequency can shift purely due to chance. This is why endangered species often lose genetic diversity. And finally, condition number 5, no gene flow. Gene flow means migration between population. When individuals move and reproduce in new population, they introduce new alleles. Human population today constantly exchange genes through migration. So complete genetic isolation is extremely rare. Now, at this point, you might ask, if real population almost never satisfy these conditions, then why is Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium so important? Because it acts as a baseline, a reference point, a null hypothesis for evolution. If observed genotype frequencies differ from the Hardy-Weinberg predictions, scientists know that some evolutionary force is acting on the population. It can be natural selection, maybe mutation, maybe migration, maybe genetic drift. Hardy-Weinberg helps scientists detect evolution mathematically. Now let's look at some incredible real-life examples. The first example is sickle cell anemia. This is one of the most important famous examples in genetics. This is caused by a recessive allele. Individuals with two recessive alleles develop the disease. Normally harmful alleles should gradually disappear through natural selection, but surprisingly, the sickle cell alleles remains common in some regions, especially where malaria is widespread. Why? Because individuals who are heterozygous carriers gain partial resistance against malaria, so carriers actually have a survival advantage. This creates a balancing selection. Natural selection maintains both alleles in population, and this was one of the earliest real-world demonstration of evolution acting inside human population. Now let's talk about antibiotic resistance. Inside bacterial population, random mutations sometimes produce resistant bacteria. When antibiotics are used, most bacteria die, but resistant bacteria survive and reproduce. Slowly, the resistant allele becomes more common, the population evolves. This is evolution happening in real time. And this is exactly why overusing antibiotics is so dangerous. We are unintentionally accelerating natural selection. Even visible human traits can be studied through Hardy-Weinberg principles. Eye color, skin pigmentation, lactose tolerance, all of these involve population genetics. Scientists use allele frequency to study migration patterns, ancestry, and evolutionary history. Now let's solve a quick Hardy-Weinberg problem. Suppose 9% of a population shows a recessive trait. That means q squared equals 0.09. Taking the square root, q equals 0.3. Since p plus q equals 1, p becomes 0.7. Now calculate genotype frequencies. P squared equals 0.49, 2pq equals 0.42, and q squared equals 0.09. So 42% of the population are carriers. And this is exactly how genetic counselor estimate carrier frequency for inherited disease. Now, before we end, let's clear up some common misconception. First misconception: dominant alleles always become more common. False. If a dominant allele reduces survival, natural selection can eliminate it. Second misconception: Recessive alleles are always rare, also false. Recessive alleles can remain hidden inside heterozygous individuals for many generations. And third misconception, Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium describes evolution. Actually, it describes the absence of evolution. Deviation from equilibrium reveal evolutionary change. And this is what makes this principle so powerful. Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is much more than a textbook formula. It is the mathematical foundation of population genetics. It helps us understand how population remains stable, how evolution occurs, how diseases persist, and how invisible genetic forces shape life on Earth. From malaria resistance to antibiotic evolution to conservation biology, this single principle connects mathematics directly to evolution itself. And honestly, once you truly understand Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, population genetics starts making complete sense. So if this video helped you understand the topic deeply, make sure to subscribe, like the video and share it with your friends, and comment below which biology topic should we do a deep dive on next. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.